This guy's called the Standing Streamer.
Brian Zane.
Hey everybody, Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret, and you're watching Putting You Over.
How's it going? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Putting You Over. I am the Standing Streamer, and good gosh almighty, is that light extremely bright? Is that like brighter than normal? Like, I need a hat. Oh, there's my hat. Oh yeah. That is much better. How's it going, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to episode 738 of Putting You Over. Tonight on the show, we will maybe break down a little SmackDown from last night. Talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of wrestling. But at 9:30, we are going to have some... we're going to have some wrestling positivity, which we don't get enough of. I don't think we get enough of it. And I don't know if it's always been this way. I don't know if wrestling has always been this polarized and negative. Like when I was growing, like in 97, like was it this negative in 97? Is it a social media thing? I don't know. But tonight, we'll have a little bit of positivity in Putting You Over. We're going to have the club. The club is here. And the Pro Wrestling Club, which is a middle school club, I guess, maybe, is what it is, I guess. We'll find out tonight, but it's a club for school kids at risk. Let's find out what that word at risk means, because that could mean a lot of stuff. At risk youth, help keep them off the streets. Instead of doing this or that, they're watching wrestling. There's our guest right now. Look at that. Coach is here. We'll wait for his audio. Look, you accept. Look at that. See, that's what making Vanessa the host helps. All right. So, once his audio, look at him. He's trying to figure it out. Trying to figure out how to connect his audio. Spuddy is hosting us. There. I think I can hear him, I think.
Can you hear me?
I can, and now we're live. Now you got your little overlay, your little Twitter. How are you doing tonight?
I am better than I deserve. How are you?
I'm not bad. I'm doing well. We were just talking about some viewers in the stream who probably are not here tonight because they're Braves fans, and I guess the Braves choked tonight, and it's going to a game 7. So I don't know if you're a baseball fan, but
I am a baseball fan, and I am a Braves fan. Of course, I'm here just outside of Atlanta, so I am a Braves fan, but I have not been able to watch. It was family day for my family. We went to North Georgia to an apple orchard today,
yeah.
and that took that took up a lot of time. So
Um, is people are saying, well, there's one person in the chat saying everything's low, so I gotta double check with people. Yeah, Family Day, especially in October, is key this time of year. I know Vanessa had a family day last weekend. I believe they went apple picking. I went the weekend before apple and pumpkin picking. So yeah, I totally understand that for sure.
yes, sir.
Yes. But we thank you for giving us your time tonight, and it's a lot of positivity tonight. I'm really excited. I'm excited for a lot of reasons because one, wrestling to me doesn't get a good has a bad stigma, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I would agree with that.
And so it doesn't it gets a bad stigma. And I also work in the school system, and with the kids I work with, and I think we said this, oh gosh, who were we talking about this with? Formerly known as Aiden English, Matt Raywalt. We were talking about this because one day one of my students came in. I work with children with autism, and I was in I'm in the school age. Oh, there's my God, don't worry about it. It's water pipes. So I work with children with autism, school age, and so let's say between the ages of 7 and 11, maybe 7 and 11-year olds, and 7 and 11-year olds. Wow, that sounds so young to me.
That's awesome.
And one day, one of these kids came in, and they are wrestling fans. Most of them. I have a lot of boys in my class. And one of them came in one day and said, "Mr. Kevin, I'm not doing any work today." And I was like, "Okay, all right. I hear you. I understand that. Why? And a lot of the kids that I work with have behavioral issues too. So
Sure.
as long as I was not getting punched in the face while they said this, I was accepting what they were saying. So I said, okay, that's fine. Why are you not doing any work today? And they said, I can't. It's a holiday. Oh, it is. It's a holiday. Okay. So what holiday is that? And they said, well, it's Rusev Day. And I looked at the kid, and I said, what holiday? He goes, it's Rusev Day. And I said, okay, you do not have to do any academics today. And he had to do some social stuff, and he had to do group games. And
Right.
I'm saying things that maybe you understand, maybe you don't, maybe people do, maybe they don't. But
Oh, I get it. I get it. It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
when you figure holiday, I was like, what could a wrestling holiday be? I was thinking maybe the Monday after WrestleMania. That
Right.
was the first thing that came to my mind.
mm-hmm.
But Rusev Day, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
The kid came in and he said it was Rusev Day, and I was like, wow, that is the greatest thing I've ever heard. So I'm really excited. So I don't remember when I first ran into you. I think I ran into you on Twitter, maybe through the NWA
It had to be
ranks.
Twitter.
It had to be Twitter, and I don't exactly know if maybe you replied to someone that I follow or whatever it was, but I ran into you, saw your handle, was very interested, saw that you worked with, in correct me if I'm wrong, but you worked with, middle schoolers, at-risk middle schoolers, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm sold. I have to find out more. So, why don't you let the people know in the Twitch chat tonight,
Sure.
Who you are, like what pro wrestling club is, I guess.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me.
No problem.
And thank you for your patience, because we actually talked about doing this a long time ago.
For sure.
And I was like, hey, can you wait till I have this right here ready?
Yeah, look
that
at
would
that.
be pretty cool to have on there.
Look at that.
And that took several months. That was took me 7 months to get it, but here it is. And the kids love it. The kids that have seen it love it. Principal loves it. I mean, it's been a big hit. So let me get back to talking about the pro wrestling club itself. So I coached football for, I think, 12 years at my school, and it was too time consuming. And my son, we've talked about this a little bit, I think, too.
Yep.
My son has autism.
Yep.
And it was one of those things where, like, I need to be at home more. And I need to be there for my wife, for my kids. I need to be there to show my son the way.
Yes.
So I knew I had to give football up, which, it's not something you necessarily want to do.
It's
but
tough.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
But you got to do right by your family. So, in giving that up, I thought I still need to do something at school, something else, but something that won't be as time consuming. So it just kind of, for lack of a better way to say it, the good Lord just put that thought in my head. Hey, you need to do a pro wrestling club, because in my mind, what I saw happening was this is going to be a way to reach kids that, number one, that don't do sports.
Right.
Number two, they may or may not be in band. It's going to reach kids that don't do any after school clubs or any other activities. And I thought, man, if this had been around when I was in middle school, I'd have been all over this.
Tell me about
it. And I know a lot of my friends would have been all over this. And so I just started thinking about it and, trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together for how I would make it work. And so we had just gotten a new administration at my school. And I was like, at first I thought, this is going to be no problem. I'll just go tell them, because I've been in my school, I think 16 years now.
Okay.
But my new principal and assistant principal didn't know me from anybody. So when I mentioned it to my principal, you were talking about that negative stigma and everything that wrestling can have. I mentioned it to him, and he was not on board with my idea of a pro wrestling club at school. But I was persistent, and I just kind of kept, kept going at him every few days when I'd see him. Hey, how about my wrestling club? And, he told me to write him a proposal. Okay. And I've never written a proposal in my life. The only proposal I've done was to my wife. And so I spent a lot of time working on it and what my plans were with it. And I showed it to him, and he was like, Davis, I don't have time for this right now. Go show it to the AP, and she'll give you thumbs up or thumbs down. Well, I gave it to her, and she loved my idea with it. She thought it was a brilliant idea. And she looked at it. I literally handed it to her, and she gave it back to me. She goes, you got your club. So I was like, hot dog, this is going to be awesome. And so the plan was, I just got to find a way to really market and recruit kids to come in to where we're going to watch wrestling every week. And it may be WWE, it may be, we watch a ton of NWA, right. Or it may be, NXT, it may be, just whatever. We would watch it, and then we would talk about grades. We would talk about just different things that would involve being responsible, and why it's important to be responsible. And then that would lead to basically three things that are like our core convictions in the club. Number one is to be responsible. Number two is not to be passive, because I don't want kids in the club if they see somebody doing something wrong to one of their peers where they're just silent and they do nothing about it. They need to speak up and say, hey, dude, that's wrong. Don't do that. And the third thing is just to be a leader. And so those are kind of like our core beliefs. What we work at talking with the kids, you know, we'll usually take one of those attributes and talk with them about one each week. All right. And so it's a whole lot of fun. You know, like I said, we talk about our grades a little bit too, not too long because we want to watch the wrestling too.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is, I had a feeling I would be able to get wrestlers to get on board with this club because I'm a social studies teacher, and I had gotten some really good high name politicians to talk to my class. And so I thought, you know, I could probably get wrestlers to buy into what I'm doing because this is a pretty cool idea. And there are no other wrestling clubs in school that I know of, or at least not to the extent
I've
of what
never heard of one, ever.
Yeah. So I went to wrestling in Rome, Georgia, and I met Booker T and Jeff Jarrett, and I told them what I was doing, and Booker T said, "Yeah, I'll be happy to talk to him." So he gave me a phone number to his wrestling promotion. He said, "You call me anytime, and we'll get it set up." Talked to Jeff Jarrett. He said, "Look on my Twitter feed. You'll find my email address. You email me." And let me tell you, both those guys came through too.
Yeah.
So we did a Skype with Booker T. We did a Skype with Jeff Jarrett. And the beauty of it is, so we ask all these questions like, who'd you have the most chemistry with in the ring, or what's your best moment in wrestling? Like Booker T, he said the best moment of his career was wrestling in Iraq in front of the troops. I would have never thought that would have been his answer.
Right.
What a heck of an answer that was.
Wow.
You know, and but like the last question we ask is always the most important one, because it's where really we're driving a point home to the kids. It's basically, what's the best advice you would give a young person?
Yeah.
Okay. And so Booker T, let me tell you, he could have been a minister. He is a powerful speaker. Yeah. And he told them, he basically gave them a testimony of how he got in a lot of trouble when he was a teenager.
Yeah.
And he was facing, he said, like 5 to 90 years or 5 to 99 years in prison and everything.
Wow.
But he was like, it didn't happen. I want to say he said by the grace of God, but I don't remember if he said that or not.
Right.
But like he was like, he told him, be careful who you hang out with, avoid trouble, you know, and it was just a tremendous message that he gave to those kids. Jeff Jarrett, his message was probably the most underrated message you could give teenagers, and I thought it was marvelous. And he told the kids, stay busy. Yes. He said, avoid idle time. Idle time is where you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Yes,
he said, stay busy in church, stay busy with clubs, stay busy with sports, whatever, but don't have idle time on your hands. That's where you're going to get yourself in trouble. So those were the first two guys that worked with the club. And then it's just kind of been going on and just kind of growing the club as much as I can. And it's been just a huge blessing. And let me tell you, I've had some really cool other talent work with us as well. If that's okay to tell you about who all the.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ken Shamrock has worked with us.
Nice.
Jesse Jones, or you may know her as Jessie Bell Smothers.
Okay, yep.
But she was the first woman to work with us. Thunder Rosa has worked with us. She was great. Probably the man that's done the most for us is Nick Aldus.
Yeah,
and I cannot say enough about the man of Nick Aldus. When I emailed him, he replied back to me within an hour.
Wow.
And he said, this is a great club, great idea. Let's do this as soon as we can. Within a week, we had our Skype. And then he had emailed me the weekend before, and he said, listen, would it be okay if we give them tickets to NWA Power? Wow. And so I had to call my principal, and I said, listen, told my principal, I said, this is going to be on school night. It's Sunday night, which is technically is a school night. Or no. Hold on. I'm trying to remember when the initial filming was. I don't remember. I called him on a Sunday night is what it was. But I said, this is kind of uncharted waters. I said, they're offering us tickets. Is that okay? He said, my principal, he said, if they're offering you tickets, you take them. So, um, and let me tell you, we had our Skype, and it was fantastic. And when Nick Aldus, when he told the kids about the free tickets and everything,
Oh my
it
goodness.
was kind of like the kids were in shock. It was like they didn't believe him.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but let me tell, I can't say nothing negative anyway about the NWA, because they rolled out the red carpet for those kids. They arranged a meet and greet with multiple NWA talent. They gave every kid a signed poster by not just Nick Aldis, but every talent that competed that night signed the poster and gave it to them. They had probably, if you watched any of the NWA Power series, they were about 5-6 rows up. And so the seats were just, I mean, they were first class seats. And the kids just had a great time. One of the kids in the club, she told me, she said, Mr. Davis, this is the best day of my life. And I said, and I remember thinking to myself, that's why we're doing this.
Exactly.
You know, and it was just so, it was just, you know, not saying like I sat, but, you know, it warmed my heart a little bit.
Right.
Because,
no.
You know, because the area I teach, there's a lot of poverty where I teach.
Okay.
So it's at risk, but it's also underprivileged kids that I'm really, you know, that's the demographic there and everything. And it's been such a blessing. COVID hasn't helped any, obviously.
Can't imagine.
But it's the NWA has really been fantastic to us. And we really hope they start getting things rolling again.
Yeah, me too. What episode? Do you remember what episode they were on?
Oh, goodness. I'm trying to remember.
Do you remember the matches?
It was multiple times, because they invited us down there twice.
Okay, so it was a couple tapings.
Which was, you know, twice as good.
Yeah.
Like, I was just ecstatic. We were invited there to begin with, and then when I was getting ready to leave, the lady in charge, she said, hey, we'd love to have y'all back sometime. And I was like, I guess the kids did a good job yelling and screaming.
Yeah, kids do that,
which they did.
Yeah, for sure.
I cannot recall right off the bat which matches they saw, but they did see Nick Aldis wrestle. That I know that meant a lot to him. I remember it was right after he turned heel.
Okay.
It was right after he turned heel, and the beauty of it was the entire crowd. You know, he'd beaten up Tim Storm and everything. The entire crowd was booing Nick Aldis, except for this row of kids from the pro wrestling club, because they were like, that's the guy that got us tickets. He's our hero no matter what.
Yeah.
So it was just so funny, because everybody's booing him, and then I got kids in the club going, hey, don't you disrespect the champ.
Speaking of the kids, how many kids do you have in the club?
Well, last year we had about 10 kids.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I'd love for it to be more.
Yeah.
Obviously, but you know, it's kind of like it is what it is, and kind of like it still kind of has like a taboo thing to it. Oh, right. Like, you know, you like wrestling, you know, you always hear, you know, that's fake and everything. In which, you know, I always tell the kids to say, well, whatever your favorite show is probably isn't real either. Or something along those lines.
That's a great answer.
You know. Yeah. And so, but what I'm really looking at doing whenever we can start back is I want to expand the club up to the high school that my club feeds into.
Okay.
And then that way, when I get these high school kids, and a lot of those will be former members of the club, to come back, and then that way they can get in the process of mentoring the middle school kids as well. So, I mean, that's part of like my vision. I talked to my principal about it. He thought it was a good idea, but you know, we have to wait for COVID to come to an end with all that stuff. Yeah. So, but as far as this year, I think right now we don't have a lot of members right now because we haven't even been able to meet or anything. So, because of COVID. So I found one of the kids in the club. I went and showed him the belt and he loved it. It's on our Twitter page.
Yeah,
you
I
can
saw it. Yeah.
see it, and he's like, he's holding it, hoisting it up, and he's got his mask on. But man, he had the biggest smile
I bet.
when he saw it.
It's too bad. And as you said, a lot of the kids in the area, poverty stricken, I guess is the correct term. But it's too bad you guys couldn't meet on a Zoom call, and watch a pay-per-view together. The club could meet and watch wrestling together, whether it's a pay-per-view, whether it's, anything really. To get around what we're dealing with right now.
Oh, I think my son's trying to make a guest appearance.
Oh, that's fine.
Come here, Dusty. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here.
Oh, there he is. I can hear him.
Can you say hey?
Hey,
Hi, buddy.
what are you?
What am I? Well, I'm just, I'm kind of standing here.
Say, where are you?
Oh, where?
You say, where are you?
I'm in New York, buddy. What are you doing?
I know I'm really
Say, cookies.
Yeah. Wow, I can't. 10 o'clock. You're like one of my kids. You're still up.
Yeah, I know. He's supposed to be asleep.
Yeah, so are mine. Mine are still awake too.
No, what are you doing?
Did you see yourself there, buddy?
What are you doing?
Daddy, he's doing an interview with Daddy.
Does he like wrestling?
He doesn't really like to watch wrestling, but he loves to wrestle.
I'm sure he does.
Hey, Dusty, come here. Hey, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I finally got him to say, what you gonna do? Let me tell you, that took me a year to get him to say
Oh
that.
my God. Oh my God, I'm in love. I am in love. I love it. I understand completely. It took you. Oh goodness gracious, good for you.
Yeah.
And praise everything, man.
Well, thank
Wow.
you.
Yeah, for sure. I don't even know where I was going now. I'm so overwhelmed. I have a huge smile.
I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No. It's fine for sure. All right. So I talked about kids. You talked about how it was hard to get it started.
Yes, sir.
What's the funding like? Because I know a lot of clubs. Some clubs get funding at schools, some don't. Some have to raise their own. What's that like for you guys, funding wise, and maybe board member wise, and stuff like that?
Yeah, terrific question. And let me just say, I have the best PTO.
Nice.
Our PTO, I contacted them when I first started the club. I contacted them, and I told them that I told the president PTO what I was doing with the club. She thought it was a great idea, and I said I want to have us to have our own club shirts. And I said I don't want any kids to have to pay for a shirt if they don't have to. I said, I just don't want that to be an issue. And she's like, how much money do you need? I said, and I told her an amount and everything. She's like, that's fine. They gave me the money. We ordered shirts, and our first club shirt that we ever had was this right here.
Nice. Oh, I like that. Old school NWO. Yeah.
And I'll be happy to send you one when I get some more in, by the way.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So every kid in the club, our first year got this shirt right here. And so the whole point was, obviously they can wear it any day, but on club day, you wear the club shirt.
Yes.
That was the rule. And I think our second year, later on, we had this shirt right here, and this is after the WOW logo, Women of Wrestling.
Yep.
And because WOW has been really good to the club as well, because as I told you, we Skyped with Jesse Jones, Thunder Rosa, and if you look at our followers, just a ton of WOW wrestlers follow us, and so that was, I wanted us to honor WOW, and so that was what we did. And so then when we went to I had to find another donor to get the next round of shirts, because when we went to NWA
Okay.
and everything, and we went to Power, I didn't want us wearing our NWO looking shirt when we went to Power. So I had this shirt made
Oh,
up,
look at that.
and that's after the
Yep.
new NWA logo
Nice.
and everything. And all the NWA wrestlers that saw it, they said they loved it. And then I tried to give the extra shirts that I had.
Yeah.
I'm always handing out shirts to talent as
Yep.
much as I can. As much as I can work on branding or just marketing our club and getting our name out there and letting wrestlers know what we're doing and just letting the general public know what we're doing.
Right.
I'm all about. So those are our 3 shirt designs. Like I said, I'll be happy to. I think we're going to go with that original NWO looking shirt again this year.
Yeah, it's nice.
And like I said, I'll be happy to send you one.
You mentioned the WoW with the women.
Yes.
Are there? Do you have some female in the club?
Oh yeah, we have, absolutely.
Nice.
In fact, the student that told me it was the best day of their life was a little girl.
That's awesome.
Sure was.
That is awesome. Yeah. I have my Daughters of Anarchy. I have three females that love wrestling, and I was telling them tonight how so they're 11. Oh gosh, they're 11, 7, and one's gonna be 4 soon. So the 4-year-old not so much. But when I was telling my 11-year-old who I was having on the show tonight, because I always say, "Well, girls, Daddy's got a show tonight," and they said who, and I said, "Well, I'm actually talking to a guy. I'm talking to a school club based around wrestling," and they were like, "So what do they do?" And I said, "Well, they get together, they talk wrestling, they watch wrestling, they relate this and that." And my oldest daughter was like, "Good gosh, we don't have that at our school. Why can't Why can't we have that at our school?"
That's right.
And I said, "I don't know."
Yeah. It's just, I think a lot of people just haven't, even like wrestling fans that are teachers, just haven't thought about it, number one. And then number two, it's getting, there's going to be a lot of red tape that you gotta cut your way through.
Yeah.
And it's, a lot of it is, how much does your principal or administration believe in you?
Yeah.
Do you have a good reputation in the school itself? It was tough. But I was persistent. So,
That's what you said.
and I think my principal is just like, I need to let him do it just so he'll stop bothering
So
me.
he shuts his mouth.
But I will say this, when I started coming through with talent, with Booker T, with Jeff Jarrett, with Keith Shamrock, with Nick Aldus, with Thunder Rosa, and these other wrestlers, he really started believing in what I was doing, and it's been a huge blessing.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. Man, I'm totally behind it, and it has less to do with wrestling and more to do that you're gathering kids that maybe don't have a spot, and that you're now gathering them with a common interest, and you're focusing life skills based around that. Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody wants to feel like they belong.
Yes. Yep.
And that's what this club does.
Yep.
It puts kids that have this common interest together that they might not have known that they would have had with somebody.
Yep.
And it's fun watching them bond over something.
For sure.
And it's really cool. And let me tell you, when those kids were in that room talking to Eli Drake and Aaron Stevens and Nick Aldus and a few other people. Yeah. That was pretty cool to see those guys taking time, talking to Thunder Rosa. That was just,
yeah, she's great.
It was just, I don't even know the word to say. It was humbling.
Yeah.
It was certainly humbling.
Awesome. Well, you're doing great stuff, Coach. We're going to wrap things up here. I'm going to give you the mic. Let us know where we can find you, and how to support you, basically. The floor is yours.
Can I show you one more thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Before I do all that.
Yeah, yeah.
So for the talents that work with us, what I try to give everybody a shirt, but I really try to go a step further if I can.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend of mine who's pretty high up in the federal government, and what we do is I get them one of these, and it is flown. Hold on, let me. Like this lady doesn't even know that she has this yet, but I get them a flag that was flown in Afghanistan.
Wow.
And it's flown in their honor for 9 minutes and 11 seconds.
9/11, yep.
And
wow.
I've got to get this one mailed out. But Nick Aldus posted about it, and he was saying, I've got a lot of cool gifts, but this is the most humbling gift he'd ever got. So that was nice of him to post.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he didn't have to do that.
No, he did not. Where can we find you, sir?
So we're only on Twitter right now. Part of it is me learning more social media as we go along. But we are at Pro Wrestling CL1. I believe that's for Twitter handles at Pro Wrestling CL1.
Yep.
And we would love to have as many followers as we can. I think it's the best club in school. I have a biased opinion, obviously. But to the best of my knowledge, we have the only club that has celebrities directly interact with kids and is willing to invest in their life and give them a positive message. And I don't know of any other clubs that do that.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, Coach, I'm hooked. You got a command here in this chat, this show every night. And, we'll look forward to a lot of things from you. And,
yes, sir.
Man, it's just great stuff what you're doing. And, love it. So you can come on anytime. Anytime you got to plug something, for sure. Definitely.
Hey, I really appreciate that. I really do. And just thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It's been an honor. And like I said, I really appreciate your patience.
Yes,
and everything, because we traded several messages back and forth over the last few months. So I really appreciate your patience with that. So,
yeah. I'm very easygoing, man. When I try to get people on, hey, if you got time and I gotta wait, I'll wait. So no problem. I'm all good.
Yes, sir.
I am a patient man.
And there was something else I was gonna say. I'll probably remember it after we hang out.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Go Braves.
Oh, go Braves.
Dogs.
Yeah.
And whoever else you like, go them.
There you go. Have yourself a great night. It was great to see your kid. Tell him he is awesome.
I will. Hopefully next time I'll get him to say, he'll go, what you gonna do?
Yeah, for sure.
So
we'll have him on.
Like the Hulkster would be pretty proud of that.
Awesome.
So.
Have yourself a great night.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Later, man.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Awesome.
This guy's called the Standing Streamer. I have the balls to say things that nobody else has the balls to say. The champ is